Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Financial Markets, and we are looking at the Uganda Securities Exchange today. Now, yesterday, by the close of the market, we looked into, the performance of the counters the day before. That was Wednesday. And now, today, let's have a look at the other counters and how they performed. Besides the gainers and the losers, we had some performances on the market as of yesterday before the closure of the market, and you would see on the screen here. Yesterday, Bank of Baroda traded at 80 cents, and it didn't trade any volumes, and that has not changed even today, with 80 cents closing the market yesterday, and no volumes traded on Bank of Baroda yesterday. We still see that it's still stagnant and nothing has been done on the market. Looking at British American Tobacco at 15,000 also, did not have any trading yesterday, and so the market also didn't move by the counter, and also we are seeing a stable market price at 15,000 being maintained to date. However, Centum Investment yesterday, but one was a loser, that is on Tuesday, at 311.5 Ugandan shillings, yet today came out as one of the gainers at 3,225.18, and that was about 13.68 shillings gain for British for Centum Investment Company Limited. Then down to DFCU Bank, actually Cipla Quality Chemicals at 69. Yesterday, Cipla at 69 cents was able to trade 71,000 shares at 69. However, there was no movement in price. The price remained at 69 Ugandan shillings. Then DFCU Bank at 550 yesterday did not trade any volumes, but also their price did not change from 550. It was maintained at that price as of the close of the market yesterday. Then East African Breweries Limited, we see that it was among the losers the day before, losing by about 28.6 Ugandan shillings to 4,300. But as of the markets yesterday closing, one of the gainers gaining to about 4,399. And that was about a 10 shillings rise from 4,380 to 4,399 Ugandan shillings. Notably, East African Breweries is making 100 years this year, and definitely they have been doing quite well on both boazes, that is the Ugandan boaz and the Nairobi boaz, and we are seeing now they again strong as we wind up the week today. Down to East African, actually Equity Bank Limited was among losers on the day before yesterday, but by the close of the markets yesterday, East Africa Limited was among the gainers. He gained from a price of 1,353 to a price of 1,407. That is 54.5 Ugandan shillings rise. So from this 1,300 right now, you can find the prices at over 1,407 at Equity Bank Limited stocks. Then down to Kenya Airways. Kenya Airways yesterday was among the losers yesterday, but one. We are comparing data as of yesterday, but one, and yesterday. Kenya, the day before yesterday, was among the losers at 120.51 Ugandan shillings after losing by 0.79. But as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, came out strong as one of the gainers at exactly about 2 shillings. And he gained to about 122.10. That's about a 1.59 or approximately 2 shillings gain in value for Kenya Airways there. And then we look at MTN Uganda. Well, MTN Uganda was among the losers yesterday. at 177.39, but he gained on the market as well, as the closing yesterday of the markets showed a rise of about 1.45 Ugandan shillings to a price of 178. Of course, from yesterday's 177, as you can see on the board, 177.39. Today, it's at 178. And all these counters that are gaining are opportunities for investors to gain on the capital gain. You can, if you bought yesterday and there's some movement, you're gaining money, you're gaining value, your stock. Moving on to also the other stocks like the National Insurance Company at 6.2 yesterday, but one still price was maintained at 6.2, and they traded a volume of 80,000 as of the close of the markets yesterday. That is, they were one of the movers on the market there, National Insurance Corporation. Then we're looking at National Media Group, still among the losers, the day before yesterday at 3.51 shillings loss to 538. Well, yesterday they recouped their energies and came back with a price of 5,562.68. That was about a 24.63 gain in prices, in price value for National Media Group. Then New Vision Printing and Publishing Company at 160 Ugandan shillings, did not trade any volumes and did not have any change in prices. The prices were maintained at 160. Looking at Stanbic Bank, Uganda, they were trading at 21.5. Well, they didn't also move. They didn't have any movement in price, but they actually traded shares of about, they traded about 20,400 shares at 121.5. And the Uganda Clays Limited was among the losers the day before yesterday, but also yesterday lost further from 17.74, as you can see on the board here, to now 17.37 as of the close of the markets yesterday. That is a 2-day loss for Uganda Clays, and definitely we'll be investigating what's happening there. But that was due to probably a sale of over 1.137 million shares yesterday at Uganda Clays Limited. Those are the shares that were traded. And down to Umeme. Umeme was among the losers the day before yesterday, losing by about 0.5, and then to a price of 237.8. But then we are looking at yesterday, they traded about 5,376 shares at 230. So that shows a little also decline in value of the stocks at MTN Uganda. Now, that was just comparison of the markets as of the day before yesterday, but also with the day after, the day actually as it closed yesterday. And now Jubilee Holdings, finally, Jubilee Holdings was one of the losers, but he maintained the price of 8,062 up to now, and he hasn't changed that much of that. Now, that was your just comparison of about how the stocks in Uganda were as of yesterday, but also the day before. Now, we move forward quickly to the Nairobi Stock Exchange, which is one also of the exchanges we are so interested in here, as the biggest exchange in East Africa with the largest market capitalization, but also the oldest. Since 1965, the Nairobi Stock Exchange has been the principal stock exchange for Kenya, but it started as an exchange for East Africa in 1965, and later on in 1977, the exchange had, of course, the companies that were on the exchange from other East African countries like Kenya and Uganda nationalized, and definitely the BOAS became an independent one for Nairobi, Kenya. And it's one of the fastest growing, exchanges in Africa, and recently was ranked 7th, just behind Mauritius, Johannesburg, Casablanca exchanges, and a couple of other, exchanges. It was ranked 7th amongst the top 10 exchanges in Africa. And definitely that should be a point of interest. And definitely in 2014, we had the Nairobi Stock Exchange demutualize, meaning it became a separate entity for profit organization from a non-profit organization, and it listed on its own exchange and raised about 627 million Kenyan shillings then in 2014 when it got listed onto the exchange. In 2008, in order to provide investors with a comprehensive measure of the performance of the market, the National Nairobi Stock Exchange launched their benchmark index right now, the Nairobi Stock Exchange All Share Index. And definitely this is an market capitalization weighted index with the best value of 100 points as of January 2008, comprising of all the listed equities, effectively the benchmark index of the Nairobi Stock Exchange. In 2011, together with the FTSE, the Nairobi Stock Exchange introduced the FTSE NSE Kenya 15 and the Kenya 25 indices that were designed, of course, for the creation of index tracking funds and derivative products. As the performance benchmarks are, of course, still ensuring their investability. And there is also the Nairobi Stock Exchange 25 index, which monitors the top 25 companies, and also the Nairobi Stock Exchange 20, monitoring the top 20 companies. That is the NSE for you. Now, looking at the performance of the BOAs yesterday, by the close of the markets yesterday in Nairobi, we saw the benchmark index, the All-Share index, soar up by about let's see, the benchmark index soared up by about 2.01 points, which was a 1.5% average rise in the value of points for the Nairobi Stock Exchange All-Share Index. And definitely this index tracks the performance of all the listed equities on the market, but also looking at the other securities that are listed, like the fixed incomes, and also which involve the corporate and treasury bonds, and bills as well. The market is still a quite attractive one. The market ended the day with a total of about, let's see, we had about 46 Nairobi Stock Exchange listed equities participated in trading as of yesterday, ending the market day with 25 and about 8 losers. On the gaining side, East African Cables led the gainers with a 7.14% share price appreciation, and by total of about, also he was followed by Total Kenya at about 6.9%. Now, looking at East African Cables in detail here, it is a company, of course, based in Kenya, and is engaged in the manufacture and the sale of electrical cables and conductors. Its products range from copper cables, aluminum conductors, fiber optical fibers and cables, as well as telecommunications and data cables and related accessories. The company's products are manufactured, of course, in Kenya, and the cables are for application in domestic and industrial lighting, as well as transmission and distribution of electricity. The company has 4 manufacturing facilities. There are 2 in Nairobi, Kenya, and 1 in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and 1 in eastern DRC, Congo. And of course, it has a network of agencies and branches throughout the region. And with, of course, its network in East Africa, East African Cables cooperates through its subsidiary called the East African Cables in Tanzania Limited, in which it holds 51% stake. The East African Cables Limited is listed on the Nairobi Stock Exchange, and East African Cables is trading under the ticker name CABL. That is East African Cables. So CABL is their trading ticker name. And the international securities identification number for the East African cables on the Nairobi Stock Exchange is 0000174. That is their trading number on the exchange. The East African cables is currently the 54th most valuable stock out of the 65 stocks that are listed on the Nairobi Stock Exchange, and the current capitalization is about 266 million Kenyan shillings, which make about 0.013% of the Nairobi Stock Exchange. The opening day price yesterday was about 1.05. The ending day price was about 1.05 as well. And the number of deals carried out were 3. And the number of gross turnover that was, of course, on the market was about 420. And the current market capitalization, we are looking into shares floated on the exchange worth 266 million Kenyan shillings. And the shares out of these are about 253 million shares that are floated. Its last day of trading yesterday at 1.05 Kenyan shillings. In Ugandan shillings, that's 79, Ugandan shillings, because you can exchange, you can use the forex exchange rates and convert the Ugandan shillings into the Kenyan shillings and trade, and it's quite easy. And they recorded about a 7.1% gain yesterday over its previous closing day at 0.98 Kenyan shillings. The East African cables began the year with a price of about 1.2 Kenyan shillings, but has since lost a 12.5% on the Nairobi Stock Exchange in terms of year-to-date performance. Shareholders' fears may be allayed by the 11% increase of the East African cables share price since June 9th, which is the 9th best on the Nairobi Stock Exchange. That is the East African cables, who led the gainers, by the way, on the stock market yesterday. Other movers on the market included, we had Home Africa. We also had who gained by about 4.82%. We also had on the losing side, however, Trans-Century, who came out last with an end of day price depreciation of about 4.355% at a price of 5 Kenyan shillings per share. We also had Centum Investment coming out among the losers at 1.9%. And then Liberty Kenya Holdings at 1.4%. While KCB Bank, of course, recorded the market about 6.79 million, exceeding the usual top seller on the market, Safaricom, who came in second place with a total of 6.11 million shares. This time, KCB came out on top in terms of the volumes that were traded on the market. Equity Group Holdings at 28 million came out third, while Home Africa came out fourth at 300,600 shares that were traded yesterday on the Nairobi Stock Exchange. Regarding the performance of the indices, the Nairobi Stock Exchange Market Index, All Share Index, moved up by 0.78% points to close at 134.0 points, representing a 1-week gain of 7.7% and a 4-week gain of 3.21%, but an overall year-to-date loss of 19.47%. So looking at the Nairobi Stock Exchange in the light of its all-share index, we are seeing improvement. We are seeing improvement after, of course, quite a long, a long couple of weeks that we have seen on the Nairobi Stock Exchange, and definitely we will be seeing how they progress over the weekend and opening the markets on Monday, and see if they will still surpass this mark of 118, where they are currently lingering. And so we are seeing that the Nairobi Stock Exchange was first of all affected by the liquidation of these foreign investors who are moving into safer markets back in Nairobi, in Uganda, United States. But they were liquidating and moving into safer investments like the fixed income because of the uncertainty created by inflation, elections, the exchange rates for the Kenyan shilling. That, of course, we're seeing the Kenyan shilling weaken against the United States dollar. So because of all these factors combined, many investors, the foreign investors, who are, by the way, making up the biggest number on the exchange in Nairobi, were moving away and were moving to back to their local markets in, the West. And this created a lot of problems at the beginning of this quarter of the year. But we are seeing the exchange come back strong, probably due to increase in local investment and some incentives probably created by the exchange. And we hope that will go on as well. Now, looking at other remarkable indices that performed, there were the Nairobi Stock Exchange 20 share index at 0.69% gain daily, and a 3% 1 week gain, while we had a 12.68% year-to-date loss. The NSE 25 share index gained by 0.93%. Remember, this one monitors the top 5 companies. It gained by 0.93% in a daily gain and about 0.7% on a weekly gain, and lost about 16.32% on the year-to-date performance track. The NSE Kenya 15 index gained by 0%, meaning there was no change, and lost by 18.7% year-to-date. And definitely the FTSE NSE 25 index at 0% daily gain, lost by 24.1% to date. That is data from the Nairobi Stock Exchange and attractive. You can invest across borders. Remember, financial markets are not limited to investing domestically. You can invest as much as you can, so long as you find these in the market. Of course, it's a very active market, and of course, inspiring other markets in East with the Rwanda Stock Exchange as well, the Dar es Salaam, it's the steel, and Burundi as well, which is coming up very soon, probably. They will also be opening there. That was the stock market performance. We're going into a short break. We return with the top stories in the financial markets world, and later on we have Mr. John Were, who is from a trading manager from the Uganda Securities Exchange. He's going to be here to give us a little more of what the view of the exchange is on the stock markets, but also give you an opportunity to learn how the stock market works and how you can spot opportunities in the market and also take them so you can benefit. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.